Hello everybody, I'm Jackie K. Cooper, and my entertainment rundown for today is a review of the film Brats. Now, Brats is a documentary film by Andrew McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy was part of a group of young actors who some 30 years ago were in a series of movies. The main movies were The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink. Maybe you've heard of those, maybe you haven't. But those movies were very popular, and a writer for the New Yorker magazine did a story. It was supposed to be a story on Emilio Estevez, who had been part of these movies, and it kind of branched out and touched several actors, and he just, being clever, branded them as the Brat Pack. And most of the actors who got labeled this did not like it. They didn't like saying they were part of a pack, and they certainly didn't like being called brats. But it was a play off of the old Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, etc. Rat Pack, which had happened several decades before that. So it was a play on words. But anyway, Andrew McCarthy, who had a negative reaction to this term being used, decides that after 30 years, he's going to go hunt down the other actors who were involved in this group per se, and he hasn't seen them in 30 years. It wasn't like these people, were best friends for life. They kind of had their day of making movies together and then went their separate ways. And he interviews people like Emilio Estevez, who he hadn't seen in 30 years, Ali Sheedy, Rob Lowe. He just tries to go down. John Cryer's in there. But he tries to talk to them and see what they think. And I think Demi Moore is one who says, it really was a good thing that it, singled them out. It made people aware of who they were, and that was it. And she said she looks back on it now as a good thing. Not necessarily at the time did she think it was that great, but she does now. This film is not rated, but it does have profanity in it. So that's what you have to consider. But it's an interesting look. I remember the movies, Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, Pretty in Pink. Some of them I liked, some of them I didn't like. They talk about movies that were Brat Pack adjacent, and some kind of wonderful, I don't know, even The Outsiders, Tom Cruise. Some of those would have been in that era. So you get a broad look at everything. And Andrew McCarthy, he's not the greatest interviewer, but he does have an earnestness to him. And it is good to see these people 30 years later, because a lot of them are still very active in their careers. Some have just faded away and you don't see much of them at all. So I gave it a score of 6 out of 10, above average, but maybe it's because of the nostalgia factor. With me, I've talked to some of my friends who are not, as old as I am, a lot younger. And I say, what do you remember about the Brat Pack? And it's just like, no, don't know anything about that. Some have a glimmering. The Breakfast Club, a lot of people have seen that. That's almost a classic. You have to see that. But 6 out of 10 is a score for me. This has been Jackie K. Cooper's Entertainment Rundown with a review of Brats.